What's good? What's good? Howdy, people. Who can hear me? Wait, before we get to the green chair, before we get to the Batmobile. Loud and clear, baby, says Dean Baston. Loud and clear. All right, let's do this. It's been a long day, homies. It's been a long day. I got myself a drink. I've just poured myself a nice little, what do you say that is? A treble? Is that a treble? It's a double, isn't it? It's a double. It's a double. It's good in the hood. What is good in the hood? All right, let's do the usual hello salute to the originals in the chat. You know what someone said? Rooney 8MUFC says the thumbnails. Pretty good, isn't it? I've got someone to design my thumbnails. I think they look really good. I think he's very, very talented. Who's in the building? Adam Beanie Smith says, just watched your podcast on Boxing Social. It was a good watch, Ade. That's pretty good, wasn't it? Pretty good watch, thank you. Xian, am I saying his name right? Cian. Sean? Kian? Sorry. Let's just say Burns. A big happy Mother's Day to Mama Oladipo. Without her, we wouldn't have our precious Ade. You are correct. You are correct. eMachines34 says, bro, can you please in future schedule for 7 or 8? Funny. Pound for pound boxing. Shit, I've got to call pound for pound boxing back. Sunday night highlight. That's nice. Really appreciate it. Christopher Klaus is in the building. Good evening, Ade. Good evening, Christopher. I see a lot of you are talking about the Chocolatito scorecards. We're going to get to that in a second. Dean Baston says, evening, Ade. What's good in the hood? What's good in the hood, Dean? What is good? Sean Fowler in the building. Team Banchamek is in there as well. Yo, we out here. We're here. Congrats on 25,000 subs, Ade. It took a little while. Let's hope it's quick to 30. Yeah, we got there in the end, didn't we? We got there, man. But 25,000 is really, really good. I can't wait for 30. I think I'll get 30 before August. August. All right. Who else is here? Finbar White, rest in peace, marvelous. Killed me. That actually cut me. That's what it felt like when I heard that yesterday. All right, just cut me. Rowan Perry says, hey, Ade. 2 seconds. Pound for Pound Boxing says, also shout out to Ade for taking the time to speak to me. Much appreciated. Can't wait for the follow-up. Wink. You'll get it. It's coming. It's coming. Guys, go and check out Pound for Pound Boxing's YouTube channel. He's trying his thing. He's trying his thing. Go and support. I always say, go support, go and listen. If you don't like it, don't subscribe. If you like it, press that subscribe button and see what's going on. Jeez. All right, should we get into this? I always wait for a few people to get in, just because I know there's a few of you that are kind of late. Karma Serene's in the building. I do love Karma. She, I was on TalkSport today, and she put it on her Insta stories that I was on TalkSport. Literally, that's why. So is it eMachine? eMachine was like, can't we start at 7 or 8? eMachine, I was working from 4 to 7. Have to rush home and get this done. And you're still moaning. Shocking scenes after the Minter fight. Yeah, we are going to talk about Marvin Hagler. Trust me, it's coming. Anthony Vander says, Ade, loved your chat on Boxing Social as well, smashing it. Yeah, I do like those kind of chats with Rob Tebbit. It's nice to have a chat with someone like that, as opposed to this talking to a Samsung S8. Stephen Tokley says, get on the social podcast more often. Really enjoyed it. No, it was fun. I did like it. All right, let's go. Let's kick things off with, I always like, obviously, look, I try and do this for fun and it's enjoyable and I like to have a bit of banter. But obviously, when something like what happened yesterday happened, let's get a bit serious. The great, marvelous Marvin Hagler passed away yesterday night. I found out, I don't know what time you guys found out, but I kind of started to see some things on a few boxing platforms that I'm on, and it started to kind of say, oh, Hagler's in hospital. And I was like, oh, and then it said Hagler had passed away, and it really hurt. I don't know why, but it really, really stung. Yeah, just really hurt to hear that Marvin Hagler had passed. I'm coming up to 40. So, and the reason I tell you my age is because when Marvin Hagler was doing his thing in the late 70s, early 80s, went up to the late 80s as well, I was either not born, too young to understand boxing, or just wasn't interested in boxing like that, especially around 89 when I would have been 8, 9 years old. I then went back and watched as many of Marvin Hagler's fights as I could in my 20s, and I love Marvin Hagler. I went back and watched all these interviews. As many interviews as I could find about Marvin Hagler, I watched, because he was a no-nonsense type of boxer. No nonsense, right? He was like, you know when people think about Mike Tyson being like the baddest man on the planet, Marvin Hagler, a middleweight in the 80s, early 80s, was considered the baddest man on the planet because he was just about his business. He lived the boxing life. Man, just hurts to see someone like that. He was only, what, 66 as well? It's young. 66 is young. So it just, when someone, like even when that guy from Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, died, it just affects me. Like, it makes me now really appreciate time. I can't lie to you. It makes me just really appreciate being around people that I want to be around. Really appreciate doing things that I want to do. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to just living life for the sake of it. But I love Marvin Hagler. Like, my favorite fighter, if I'm honest with you, is Sugar Ray Leonard. Like, I love Sugar Ray Leonard, but I love and adore Marvin Hagler. I love it. He came over here, fought at Wembley and beat Alan Minter for the middleweight strap. I don't know if you guys remember. It's on YouTube. You can find it. After he beat Alan Minter, I mean, they literally had to get security to get him out of the ring because they were throwing, they were rioting. Obviously, they're clearly upset that Marvin Hagler has beaten their Alan Minter. I mean, this guy didn't get his first world title crack until he was something like 49-2. 49, was it 49? I think it might have been either 40, no, I think it was his 49th fight. So I think he was 46-2 and a draw, or something along those lines. That's how long it took for Marvin Hagler to get a world title shot. Pretty much 50 fights down. And then obviously, we all remember, and I think everyone's probably seen it a million times. I have anyway. That 8 minutes against Tommy Hearns. I mean, come on. We don't see that anymore. We don't. We're two elite boxers. At the time, their combined record, by the way, was 100 wins, 3 losses. They were both legit, elite level boxing, and they both said, fuck it. Most fights, first round, are feel-out rounds. We know, we've all been watching boxing for a long time. When you get two legendary fighters in and against each other, the first round's a feel-out. The first round is never war. It's never war. These guys, for the first 3 minutes, went to war. Doesn't happen anymore. And I'm not just doing that, like, you know, trying to reminisce about the old times, because that wasn't even my time. I was a baby. That doesn't happen anymore. You don't get that. Fighters now are very cautious. You're not going to go out like that. Two fighters like that go out swinging. The greatest 8 minutes ever. And this is the thing about boxers. Like, Tommy Hearns lost nothing in that. Because Tommy Hearns is revered because of those 8 minutes, but nowadays boxers would be scared to do that because of losing their O or losing a fight. Tommy Hearns lost nothing in that defeat. Marvin Hagler is an absolute legend of the sport. Legend. And I don't know where you guys have him in your middleweight rankings or your all-time rankings, but me, he's the greatest middleweight ever. Some people might say Carlos Monzon, Bernard Hopkins, I get it. But for me, he's numero uno. Again, had to win his belt away from home. Sad. Sad. Honestly, it's, yeah, man. Really, really sad to see, yeah. It's really sad to see Marvin Hagler pass. Really sad. Okay, Stanley Reddin says he was 49-2-2 going into the Minter fight. Yeah. So I kind of got it wrong, didn't I? What did I say? 49-2-1 or something? Yeah, 49-2-2. He's like unbelievable. Unbelievable. Even his interviews, like obviously for some of the younger viewers, you see Derek Chisora with the War Chisora hat. That's from Marvin Hagler. That war. That's how much of a bad man Hagler was. War. Nothing, no fanciness, just war. And then he retired after the Sugar Ray Leonard fight. Wanted a rematch, obviously. A lot of people thought he won that fight. Some people thought Sugar Ray won that fight as well. Wanted it, didn't get it, moved to Italy, retired. Sugar Ray Leonard subsequently retired as well. And then there was talk about them fighting again in 1993, but by that time, Hagler didn't want to fight anymore. War. I'm going to get a massive poster there on my wall with Marvin Hagler in black and white and that war hat in red. Man, we've lost a good one. We have lost a good one, people. Lost a good one. Super chat here from Quinn40 says, good evening, my man. Hope all is well. I watched Dan Hardy's breakdown of Canelo Yildirim. My God, he's good. Yeah, Dan Hardy's fantastic. I'm actually going to talk about that in a minute because Dan Hardy obviously looks like he's been released by the UFC. All right, let's see what people are saying about Marvin Hagler. Let's read out a few things. Azertu U2 says, what a boxer he was. I was sad when I heard the news, couldn't believe it. Yeah, for a lot of the younger viewers here, or my younger subscribers, honestly, just go and watch some of his interviews and his fighting style. I mean, this guy came to fight. Go and watch some of his interviews. You'll just know how much of a he don't fuck about type guy. Pardon my French, but you'll just know about how he is. Like, mad. Paul Taylor, Hagler versus Hearns. Wow. The best fight I've ever seen for 8 minutes. And again, Hearns lost nothing in that defeat. That's the funny thing about it. Hearns lost. I even sometimes feel like that as much as Hagler hurt Hearns, clearly hurt him, landed a couple of times, Hearns just looked shattered as well. Looked shattered. There's that famous image of Hearns literally being carried by, I think it's someone, I don't know who's carrying him, but someone's carried him behind. Just looks shattered because the pace these guys were fighting at just weren't normal as well. Jay-Z says Hagler the greatest middleweight. Mark Bailey says Hagler was indestructible. That is why there is so much disbelief. Yeah. Sean Fowler says AJ Fury will grow. Oh, it's not even about it, but I'll read it out. AJ Fury will grow your channel if you keep making videos on it. Yeah, but you know what it is about this AJ Fury? I don't really want to make videos about it just for the sake of growing the channel. Like, if there's something to talk about with AJ Fury, I will definitely talk about it. But, you know, there's so much other stuff in there. Silver Fox says, yes, Ade. Yes, my brother. Is that my friend, as in Silver Fox Tyrone Raby? Can't be, surely. Ali Tahuni says, Hagler is the definition of a warrior. Yeah. Tony T says, Hearns is fighting for his life in ICU. How spooky is that true? I can't take that if that's true. Thomas Hone, rest in peace, the marvelous one. Yeah. Darren in Sweden says, Hagler gave us so many fantastic moments. He really did. He really did. Obviously, look, we will always talk about Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, right, Hearns, Hagler. That that Fabulous Four. Go and watch Hagler versus John Mugabe. You want to see war? Go and watch that. Hagler stopped him in the end. That is brutal. And let's not forget, those guys back in the day were going 15 rounds as well. Built different. No disrespect to fighters now, but built different. 15 rounds. Pete Ross says, good night, Marvin. You will never be forgotten. No. I like this line from Jay-Z. Says, Hagler snarled, but did always talking in the ring. Came through boxing the hard way, and his determination in body and in mind is greatness to another level. Yeah, that's so true. His determination in body and mind, it's a good point you make. Just because it's something that's spoken about as well. Like you look at that Fabulous Four, and hey, I mean, Roberto Duran loved to live the life. Loved the life. Every bit of the life. Sugar Ray Leonard, same thing. Sugar Ray Leonard had his own addictions as well. Hagler was literally like that. All he cared about was boxing. He lived the life, honestly. W. Thornton said, Hagler scared me as a boy. What we got here? A lot of you going, rest in peace, rest in peace. Yeah, sad, very sad. So many questions coming in. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to read out as much as I can. Tony T says, gone are the days where people didn't care about losing. That's what's wrong with boxing these days. Yeah, it's almost like Mayweather's just caused all this issue. It's not Mayweather's fault, but obviously the 50-0, the 30, wherever it was at the time, it's almost built a brand of boxers who are so scared to protect the O. And look, I get it, right? You have an O on your resume. I mean, the dollar signs are a bit bigger, right? There's no doubt about it. If you can remain undefeated, you're going to be worth a lot more. And maybe that's what it is. But as far as I'm concerned, if the best are fighting the best, there are no losers. Like if Errol Spence fights Terence Crawford, who's the loser? I mean, it's a great fight and you're losing to an elite fighter yourself. If you are a great fighter and you lose to a nobody or an unknown fighter, then yeah, I get it. It damages you, it damages your brand. If you lose to a great fighter, what's the problem? Which is why we all love the Fabulous Four. They all lost, but we all love them. They're all-time greats. Roberto Duran is arguably the greatest lightweight of all time. You think about that. Marvin Hagler, arguably the greatest middleweight of all time. Sugar Ray Leonard, one of the greatest welterweights of all time. Tommy Hearns, one of the greatest 154-pound fighters of all time. Doesn't matter if you lose. They all lost to each other. Crazy. All right, what we got here? Amandeep Jahal says the John Mugabe fight was overlooked big time. Big time overlooked just because of the fact of those the Fabulous Four. It was. Everyone talks about Hagler Hearns and we don't mention Mugabe. Mugabe was a great fighter and he proved it against Marvelous Marvin. You know, we say Marvelous Marvin Hagler. His name's actually Marvelous Hagler. He actually changed it. He actually changed his first name to Marvelous. So it isn't like a nickname. Like, you know, you got some of these fighters have nicknames, like Joe Smoking Fraser. No, Marvelous is his name. Man. Big Bundit says, same day weigh-in back in the day. Imagine a rehydrated Hearns at 147 or even 140. No one ever beats. That's good. That's a good point, by the way. Conrad Boxing says, too many fans nowadays that call everyone with an L a bump. Yeah, we are partly to blame. We as fans are partly to blame. When a fighter loses now, we bury them. Like, we bury them. It's horrible to see. You can't lose. You can't lose. Yeah, some fighters don't help themselves, but you can't lose a fight nowadays. I mean, Deontay Wilder didn't help himself with the excuses he made after the Tyson Fury loss, but he lost to Tyson Fury. But we've buried Deontay Wilder, saying it was a bum. Look at his record, he's a bum. Like, we do it. We do it all the time, which is strange. But hey. Little Nush says, Mugabe was 25-0, 25 knockouts until he met Hagler. Do you know what I mean? That could be Hagler's best win, but no one talks about it. No one talks about it. What we got here? All right, we might move on to Chocolatito and Estrada in a minute. Pound for pound boxing says it's worse now with social media. Yeah, it's a lot worse. But to be fair, even the boxers dig themselves out as well. Big Bundit says, no disrespect, Ade, but you did the same with Chisora, going on about his 9 losses. Yeah, 10 losses now, Chisora. Look, there's a limit to it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, as much as I say, you know, my thing with Chisora isn't Chisora's losses. My thing with Chisora is Chisora's losses, and Chisora still being a pay-per-view attraction. But I've always said, look, Chisora comes to fight. Congratulations to him. But I mean, I'm not. Yeah, when I talk about losses, I'm talking about 1 or 2 against, you know, the best. I'm not talking about 10. I love Chisora like the next man, but 10's a lot. 10's a lot. But it's a good point. It's a good point you make, dude. I agree with that. What we got here? Tony T says, true fans don't care about losses. I think we do. We care about them, but they shouldn't override the fact. Okay, for example, Chocolatito yesterday against Estrada. We can move on to this actually now. I think Chocolatito won that fight, although Estrada got the decision. I mean, I don't know how. Like one of the judges was like 117 and 111. He should be sacked immediately. Go. In fact, chuck him in prison. He's obviously corrupt. He's obviously taken a pay bung, money under the table. But even if that fight was close and Chocolatito lost, I have no problem with Chocolatito. The loser of that fight doesn't lose anything for me because it was an all-time great fight between 2 all-time great fighters. Well, what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. Karma Serene says, don't get Addy started on pay-per-views. Yeah, don't, please. Please. It's funny because a lot of people said when Addy starts working for Sky, he's gonna go soft on shouting out the pay-per-views. No siree. No siree. Someone said the WBA, okay, Stanley Red in here said the WBA are taking action on the 117, 111 judge. Yeah, it's corrupt. That judge even scored the final round to Chocolatito. Chocolatito definitely won the final round. Definitely. So that's when you know it's just, that can't be anything other than corruption. It can't be. Like, there's no way you can score that fight. And the rounds were close. Some rounds were close. But there's no way you can score at 117, 111 for Chocolatito. No, but I don't want the corrupt scorecards or the dodgy scorecards, whatever you want to call them, to take away from what was a tremendous fight. Like, the skill on show, it was incredible. It was incredible. That's the kind of fight, and this is no disrespect to Sergio Mora. I love Sergio Mora. But that's the kind of fight where I need to hear Andre Ward and Paulie Malignaggi and commentary booth to explain to me what the hell am I seeing. Because it was that high level, the way they're setting up the shots. It might look like, to the casual observer, it just looks like an aggressive fight. These guys, no. When you slow it down, there's a guy on YouTube called Lee Wiley. So Lee and then Wiley, W-Y-L-I-E. He slows down Chocolatito's stuff and shows you exactly what Chocolatito is doing. So we might be watching it thinking, oh, it's just fast aggression and he's just winging away. No. He's setting every single shot up. It's astonishing. It really is as high level as it is. Like it's as high level as it is. It's that good. It's Lomachenko's skill like. I actually think he could be a more skillful fighter than Lomachenko. This is Chocolatito I'm talking about. And I'm not taking anything away from Estrada. Estrada's equally brilliant, but Chocolatito is special. That's a special fighter. Honestly, they got to roll the dice into the trilogy immediately. The first fight was like 8 years ago. Eddie Hearn should be making that fight now. Make that fight now. That's how good it was. Great fight. I missed a couple of super chats. I'm talking too much. I'm sorry. I think I missed, what's this one? Tony T says, has Bob Arum lost his mind? You've seen his latest rant, Addy? I've not. A few people have said this. I need to have a look at this rant because a couple of people have said this. A little Noosh says, Lee Wiley is the only guy I've seen that scored it for Estrada. Interesting. Garcia Boxing versus the World Super Chat says, Ade, cheers. Hope you make it out for the Ramirez Taylor. I am. I'm definitely praying to God that I can. I am now trying to say yes to everything. Honestly, my first answer for most things in life is no. No. But now I'm trying to say yes. So I'm trying to do as much of these big fights as possible. We'll see. Jake Jansen, Super Chat says, rant, Warren tells fans to be patient. We waited 3 years for DW and AJ, Deontay Wilder and AJ, and nothing. Now 1 year with Fury and AJ. Fans deserve this. 80 million not enough, just BS. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'm still talking about Chocolatito Estrada. We're definitely going to get there about Fury after that video that he did. We're going to get there. Boy, what's everyone talking about? This rant that, can someone fill me in, please? This rant that Bob Arum supposedly did. Quinn 40 here says, I saw an interview earlier with IFL and Frank Warren. They watched a clip of Usyk's manager saying Usyk Joyce should be a 93.7% split. Yeah, so that's a bit of a joke, isn't it? That's a bit of a joke. Bit of a joke. All right, so yeah, anyway, I had Chocolatito winning the fight by a couple of rounds. Again, I don't want to take away from what was a good fight. Conrad Boxon says Chocolatito hits his shots so effortlessly. It really is. There's hardly any swing in it. That's a guy that's been boxing for I don't know how long. Like I'm guessing he's been boxing since he was about 6 or 7 or something. Everything's just so natural and at a crazy, ferocious pace. Like a lot of good boxers can do what Chocolatito does, slow down. Like they have to think about it. Like if you ask them to put their punches together, they can do it. To do it at that pace is what's key for me. And this is why I've always loved Loma growing up, because Loma is an aggressive fighter, but he does things that you're not supposed to do at that kind of speed. And Chocolatito does it as well. And I just find it crazy. Those guys were in the 12th round throwing 100 punches around. In the 12th. I mean, those guys are built for 15 rounds. They could have gone on. I'm not joking. I think they could have gone on to 20 rounds. That's how astonished I was with what they were doing and the pace they were doing at. So look, well done to Chocolatito and Estrada. It hurt me when Chocolatito was crying after, because it must be so bad when you feel like you've done your best. It's been a tough training camp, and the judges have just fucking gave you a 117, 111. Fuckers. What are people saying? Chocolatito by 3 says, Geordie Tellum. Omar Gillard says he was introduced to boxing at 12. Jesus. Nuriel says, bro, how come you're not talking about Benavidez versus Ellis? Give me a chance. I've literally just done Chocolatito. We still got to do McCaskill Braekhus. Bloody hell. What we got here? Jake Jansen says, Joe Joyce can't make any demands. I'm sorry. He has not even beaten a top 20 fighter. Jennings and Danny Dubois ain't even top 25. Bloody piss take. Carmen Serene says, Addy, ask AJ to hook you up with a job doing commentary for DAZN. I want to delete my app every time I have to listen to those guys. Yeah, those guys are bad. Yeah, they're just not good enough. They're not good enough for a fight like that. You need legit commentators. They're just not good enough. I'm sorry. At all. What we got? All right. McCaskill, Cecilia Braekhus. Like, by the way, McCaskill won that fight, I think, by a couple of rounds, maybe more. But I'm not having, like, some of the fucking judges, yeah? Like, what are the scores? Like, I'm sure, like, one judge gave her no rounds. I mean, imagine that. No rounds. And Cecilia's so nice. At the end of the fight, she's just clapping. She's so polite. I mean, I would have lost my mind. I would have lost my mind. And she had a point deducted as well, which I thought was a bit unfair. But, I mean, no. I don't know. I need like, what's McCaskill? Someone said McCaskill wants Taylor next. Wants to test. Okay, Simon Punter says McCaskill wants Taylor next. Wants to test her chin, she said. Cecilia must rue the day she agreed to fight McCaskill over the Taylor fight. Not really. It was a weight thing as well. Let's not forget that this is at a higher weight class. Yeah, I actually wouldn't mind seeing Taylor versus Serrano. We've actually already seen McCaskill versus Taylor. Obviously, this will give Taylor a chance to go up in weight, and then see if she can win. That's not an easy fight for Taylor at that weight class. Not an easy fight at all. But look, well done to Cecilia. 39 years of age. She cleaned up. She's made some good money now with these last couple of fights. Well done to her. She can go off and do her thing. Scott Arbuckle talking about Adam Smith as a commentator. I think Adam Smith's fantastic as a commentator, by the way. Fantastic. Cecilia is 1 foot out the door, says Karma Serene. I think both feet. I think she's done. 39, I think she's done. I'm even surprised she took this rematch. Do you remember the first fight where she went into McCaskill's changing room and was very polite and she was like, look after the belts and do this, do that? I'm guessing she just got offered a nice bit of money and maybe that's the last bit for her. But she can go on and do other things. She's a legend of the sport. She can go and do other stuff. But yeah, I think that's it. I think these young, hungry girls are just a bit too much for her. There was a couple of times she got caught clean as well. But she closed the show quite well. I thought she won the 12th. But I thought she closed the show quite well. But in the end, McCaskill was just a bit too good. Someone's saying here, Raider, sorry, off subject, but he's saying Josh Taylor versus a prime Amir Khan. I was doing this the other day, actually. I asked Gareth A. Davis to rank them in order. The 140 fighters that we've had over here, that world champions. Ricky Hatton, Amir Khan, Josh Taylor. Rank them in order. Let's see what people say. Pound for pound boxing says Prime Khan. What is Prime Khan, though? What are we talking about? We talking Khan that fought Collazo, Devon Alexander? Like what kind? You know what I mean? I don't know what Prime Khan is. So someone let me know. I mean, the best Khan in terms of just having to dig deep was probably Marcus Maidana. But I mean, Khan was on his feet in there, so I'm not even sure what Prime Khan is. E-Machines 34 says there are rumors that Hagler died due to a COVID vaccine. We're not even gonna get in there. I don't even like when someone's dead. I just like, look, why are we going there with how and what and like? Let's just leave that for now until we know 110%. Like we don't speculate. We don't do things like speculation. There's no point, is there? Jake Jansen, what's this? Nah, I'm not having this, Jake. Jake Jansen says Taylor would destroy Khan, beaten champ after champ. Oh, steady. Destroy Khan. No. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a tough fight. It's a good fight. He ain't destroying no Amir Khan. I think we sleep on how good Amir Khan was at one stage. Amir Khan's speed and what? Destroy? Yes, we know Khan was chinny, I get that. But I mean, you got to go and watch some of Khan's performances. Even Khan against Paulie Malignaggi, Khan against Zab Judah, Khan against Devon, Khan against Louis Collazo. These were no joke, you know. These were no joke. Even Khan against Lamont Peterson, although he lost on the scorecards, I thought he won that fight. Khan ain't no joke, you know. Even go and watch Khan's first few rounds against Canelo, where he's literally going up to like middleweight. Khan ain't a joke. There's no way on this earth Josh Taylor destroys Khan. No way. Say it now. Henry Form says, hey, Addy, I'm late to the party. What's the drink of choice tonight? The drink of choice, it's nearly finished. It's a Courvoisier. P.S. My mum's a whiskey drinker, and I got her a bottle of Talisker for Mother's Day off the back of your recommendation. Thanks, bro. Thank you. Thank you to Karma Serene, who got me a bottle of Talisker that's still in the kitchen. I'm not going to pop it until my birthday, the 25th of March, people. We are getting on in age. We are getting on. Oh, shit. Sorry, language. That's the way. Oh, we haven't spoke about him, by the way. Raymond Ford. I think he. By the way, the whole fight card was good, wasn't it? Like that fight card was good, but Raymond Ford looked really good. I thought he won that by maybe a round, but in saying that, he was fighting an unbeaten fighter as well. I mean, that's good matchmaking. I mean, Eddie and DAZN are putting on some. I know there's more money for them to put on the fight cards. That's what it is. But I mean, you kind of want some of that stuff for our Saturday night fights over here. Not our pay-per-view events, just our Saturday night fights would be nice. But DAZN are obviously putting in a bit more money than Sky are. That's just kind of how it is. Quinn 40 says, was thinking about this earlier. If Canelo was a heavyweight, would his reign be like Klitschko? That's a weird question, Quinn 40. I don't know how to answer that. How do I answer that? No, if I'm honest with you, because I think Canelo is a lot more exciting than Klitschko. Not Vitaly, but Vladimir. I thought Vladimir was quite boring. Got the job done, didn't he? But I thought boring. Canelo for me is anything but boring. I find Canelo very, very entertaining and exciting. I love what Canelo does. I love his punch selection. I love everything about Canelo. Although I will say this though, because someone's asking me about Benavidez. I didn't speak about Benavidez. Obviously, Benavidez won yesterday. I think it was 11th round KO. I do want to see him versus either Benavidez. Obviously, he's got the Billy Joe Saunders fight coming up. I want to see him against either Benavidez, Caleb Plant, or Charlo. Like, I'm desperate for those fights. We'll see what he does. Because some people have started to say Canelo's like cherry picking. I'm not having that. Not for me. Not having that at all. This is an interesting one, wasn't it? Stanley Reddin has sent this super chat question in. What do you make of Joseph Parker's Breaking Bad? Now, if you guys know what he's talking about, what Joseph Parker was named in this massive drug fucking transporting thing that's going on right now in New Zealand. His name was mentioned. And I'm one of those people that say, no smoke without fire. I'll say that right now. Now, he has been fighting in the courts to have his name not released. And unfortunately, a week ago, he lost that battle. He's been going on for a while, by the way. He lost that battle. His name was released. I mean, Joseph Parker, I don't know what to say. Until we know more, I'm not going to speculate. But that is a strange thing, right? Joseph Parker linked in drug trafficking. Wow. Ronan Gibbons, who's a massive Wolves fan, Wolverhampton Wanderers, says, big game tomorrow, Ade. What's your prediction? Actually, yeah, if Fabinho plays in the midfield, Jota plays up front, stick with the defence we've got, I think we'll win 3-1. That's what I'll say. Jay-Z says, Ebane Bridges versus Shannon Courtney announced. Is it bad that I'm excited? It is bad because you're excited for the wrong things. Karma Serene says, Vlad was not boring. That's pure hate. You know what it is, yeah? I don't know if you remember Karma. He was fighting, I can't remember who he was fighting. It might have been Kevin Johnson. And no, it wasn't. I think it was Fast Eddie Chambers. Or was it Kevin Johnson? Anyway, even in the 11th round, the fight was boring. In the 11th round, Emmanuel Stewart screams at him. Do something. Screaming at him. And Vladimir Klitschko was like, I get it, Emmanuel. I get it. Calm down. And Emmanuel was like, no, you don't get it. They're going back and forth. And Vitaly had to calm Vlad down in the corner. Vlad then got up and knocked his opponent out. So even Emmanuel was getting frustrated with him. I was frustrated watching him grow up. It was frustrating. It was boring, man. You know it was boring. Oh shit! So many. Look, guys, there's too many questions. Romano Barros says, "Hi, Ade. Hope you're all good. Just want to say congrats on hitting 3,000 followers on Instagram. Looks like someone owes you some money." No, I lost the bet. I owe him money. I owe him 50 quid. This is a good one. Gary Nicholas says, I wish Amma Williams jabbed more. Great boxer, but a little reckless. A little reckless. Very reckless. Landed some good shots yesterday against Mama's Boy. If you don't know why he's called Mama's Boy, it's because his mum actually trains him. But landed some good shots. But then, like every time he was hurt, just would go to the ropes. So when Mama's Boy was hurt, like his finishing was just so weird. Rather than take a step back and set your shots up properly, he was just winging away. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? But look, he's got the win. That was a good match, by the way. That's very good matchmaking because I think it was a step up. But yeah, I need to see a bit more of Amma Williams. I mean, he can take a punch as well. He got cracked a couple of times, but his punch selection's strange when he's got his guy hurt. It's almost like he's trying to throw punches and bunches, so the referee just seems to think, okay, we need to stop this. There isn't any like patience with it, like no patience at all. But to be fair though, in time he'll get better. In time he'll get better. But yeah, I'm happy for him to get the win. Mini Vega looked like he was going to be the shortest champion ever. Then the injury happened, gutted for him. Yeah, it was a good fight, wasn't it? It was a good fight. It looked like he broke, I'm guessing he broke his wrist. You never see a reaction like that in a fight. Even when a fighter has broke his hand, like fighters seem to continue, don't they? And then they'll say later, like, I think I broke my wrist or fractured. The break must have been so bad for him to just turn away like that and call the fight off. I mean, hopefully he can heal up and get that fight done again because, yeah, they need to do it. Simon Punter. Oh, shit, I've missed it. Shit, sorry, Simon. Wait, where is it? Man, there's a lot of questions coming in. There's a lot of questions coming in. Quinn40 says, how was it a weird question with Canelo's skill and power plus maybe 6 foot plus? I actually thought he would reign longer than both Klitschko's. Well, let me read that again. How was it a weird question with Canelo's skill and power plus maybe 6 foot plus? I actually thought he would reign longer than both Klitschko. Quinn, wait, I'm confused. Are you saying that what if Canelo was big, strong, and 6 foot? Is that what you're telling me? Don't send a super chat. Just send a normal question. I'll read it because I'm a bit confused. Gary Nicholas says, very fluffy and novice-y. This is in regards to Amma Williams. Yeah, I thought so as well. Ahmed Najib says, Vlad was the type of fighter I used to help me go to sleep. That's a bit harsh, but I just thought he was boring. Yemi Babatunde says, rest in power to the middleweight king, marvelous Marvin Hagler. Yeah, rest in power indeed, man. Rest in power indeed. Sad. Hit the like button, says Alexander Villanueva. Yes, hit the like button. I have no idea what it means for my YouTube channel, but hit the like button, please. All right, what else have we got? All right, let's have a free-for-all now. Let's just, as many questions as possible about anything, because we've got 18 minutes left. 18 minutes, people, them. I want to see, is someone, I'm looking for someone in the chat. No. All right, no. Oh, shit. Ade, watch along for a Koli Glowacki. Yes. Guys, we're doing a watch along for a Koli Glowacki. I forgot about that. Yes, we are. You know what? Salute you, Avi Scholes. Pound for pound boxing says, Ade, what's your 2021 goal? It's a good question. I really want to get out of doing this shit in my front room and move to a studio. Like that's like desperately want to get a studio, Joe Rogan type setup, these kind of chairs, mics on either side of a table, and just start interviewing people. That's the aim. Like, I don't want to do it from my front room anymore. I want to go to my studio where there's all lights and mics and cameras. That's it. That's all I want to do. So that's the plan. But we are going to do a live watch along for a Koli Glowacki, by the way. Oh, shit. So many questions. So many questions. So many questions. Oh, that's a good one, isn't it? Christopher Klaus says Andrade versus Williams official. Yeah. You know, it's weird because that fight has gone down like a lead balloon in America. Obviously, I mean, some Americans obviously will know a bit about Liam Williams. We do over here. He's definitely a lot better at 160. Looks a lot bigger and stronger. We think of it as a good fight, where I think Americans, because they want to see Andrade in with the Charlos, in that mix, maybe a Golovkin. Liam Williams just doesn't excite them at all. So I don't expect this fight to move the needle in America. But for us, it's a good fight. I like it, but I can see how people don't. Big Bundit says Boatsi and Virgil Hunter. Yeah, surprised me. I made a video about this the other day. Obviously, we got an announcement that Joseph Parker was with Andy Lee as well. I didn't see this coming. I mean, we know that Boatsi did have a couple of problems in his last fight, I think it's fair to say, although he had been out the ring for over a year. But yeah, I mean, look, if you can go and get in the mind of Virgil Hunter, get in the mind of Andre Ward, be in a good training camp. Tony Yoka's part of that camp as well now. It's not a bad thing, is it? What does that say about the British trainers, though, that he's relocating to America? I don't know. Spencer Fearon, the knowledge is the one that hooked that up, by the way. Spencer Fearon is the one that made that connection between those two. So shout out to Spencer. John Cahill says, Ade, who have you got in Williams versus Andrade? Andrade. What else have we got here? Daniel Bailey, super chat, but no question. Thank you, Daniel. Much appreciated. Amandeep Jahal says, gym's opening soon. Can't wait. Can't wait. April 12th. We're less than a month away. I literally have done nothing. When I say zero exercise, zero. I went for a jog the other day, stopped jogging halfway and walked. I've done nothing. I've not done any. Like, I've lost all the guns. All the guns have gone. Can't wait for them to come back. Can't wait. Okay, so Quinn 40 says Canelo, basically this version of Canelo, but as a heavyweight, yeah, then he's a problem. He's a problem because he'll be on more than Klimbuter, I'll put it that way. Ade, would you ever start, this is from Hughesy1, Ade, would you ever start a podcast? I think it would be great. I'd have to do it with someone. I don't think I could just talk by myself. I actually listen to quite a lot of podcasts. Like the Robbie Fowler podcast is fantastic, by the way. I listen to that if you can. He had a great interview with Paul Scholes on it. I listened to the Peter Crouch one. I listened to a few different ones. Obviously, Joe Rogan. But yeah, you always need someone. So I would almost need to have a guest or just get guests on. Like, I couldn't do this and then post it up. Usman Mahmood says, hi Ade, without including the resumes and championship record, just based on technique and raw talent, is Terence Crawford the best fighter pound for pound? No. If we're going on just technique and raw talent, I saw two fighters fight yesterday night that have technique and abundance and raw talent. Yeah. Karma Serene says, why don't you use Dan's studio? What Dan? Let me know who you're talking about, Karma. Send me a message. E-Machines 34 says, is not filming in a studio inconvenient every time you want to do a video? Maybe so, but I won't I wouldn't do it like where I have to travel to a studio. Like, there's so many studios around here, sort of 15, 20 minutes away. And I don't just do videos like that anymore. I mean, I know what you mean, but I kind of have a coffee then do a video. Like, I could wake up and go to my studio. Studio is the aim. Like, it's never going to be the same doing it in my house, obviously, because the house is convenient. But yeah, going to a studio will be so much better. I want my front room to become a front room again. That would be nice. Milfy Swinbuckle says, who would be your top 3 guests for you to interview? Ooh, good question. Good question. That's a good question. I'm going to come back to it. That's a good question. It's a very good question. Scott Arbuckle says, Ade, where do you rate David Haye in terms of UK heavyweights? Not very high. Not very high. I mean, I could score it, but he didn't really. Some people don't. I don't even think he beat Valuev. If I used to score the Valuev fight, so that's his world title fight. I don't even. Did he win that? Did he win that? I mean, Monty Barrett. I mean, John Ruiz. I mean, what are we talking about here now? Do you know what I mean? And then lost to Klitschko with the toe thing. He actually done better than a lot of people think in that Klitschko fight. But yeah, not enough, right? Not enough. Could he have been a good heavyweight if he was a bit more active? Possibly, but not very much. Jake Jansen says, so Taylor is from my family's hometown, Edinburgh. So May 22nd is huge for us. Yet in England, they've hardly mentioned it. Guys fighting for all the belts. Yeah, strange. I just feel like Taylor's a weird one. And maybe it doesn't help the fact that Taylor is with, what is he with, Top Rank, right? If Taylor was with a Matchroom, it would be huge. It would be, you know the way Eddie is. I mean, Eddie could fucking sell sand to Arabs. It'll be massive. Maybe because he's with an American promoter, he's not getting pushed enough. We did see him a bit on BT Sports, but he would be on Sky, he'd be doing everything. He'd be right now ringside at a Matchroom show, being interviewed for Sky after. Maybe that's what it is. He's just not with the biggest promoter in this country, so that's the problem, I guess. Dean Baston says, Ade, we love you. You don't need a studio, bro. I know what you mean, Dean. I love you too, but I do need a studio. I do. Avi Skull says, if you could have the style of one fighter currently active, who would it be? The fighter that gets hit the less. Who's the fighter that gets hit the less? Usyk doesn't get hit clean much. Usyk, I don't want to get hit. So yeah, Usyk I think would be the one. Scott Arbuckle says, come on Taylor, hope he wins. I was at the O2 fight for the Progo fight. Yeah, I hope he wins as well. I hope he wins. Usman Mahmood says, Ade, I'm 15 and wanting a career. 15 and watching this. Ain't it past your bedtime, blood? And I'm joking. And want a career in sports journalism like you. Got any advice? Dude, just live your life. Live your life. I didn't do sports. I didn't start this journey like until I was 34. So yeah, live your life. Whatever you're doing, do it. Fibrillation says, Ade, who is your most loyal viewer? I've got a few that I know off head. Avi Skulls has been there for a long time. Finbar White has been there ages. Ian Hamilton has been around for a hot minute. There's some people in the chats that have been around since the Box Talk days with me and Ryan. Who else has been? I can't remember, but there's a few that have been here for ages. 786 NAF has been here for ages, blood. So yeah, there's a few. Look, I love you all. Like, I love Karma, but I love you all. But those are the ones that have been here from like 5 years when I first started doing this with my friend Ryan. Rowan Perry says, Ade, have you got a problem with 15-year-olds? Rowan, don't tell me you're 15 as well, please. Rooney AMUFC, loyal subscriber. Rooney, you are. But I don't know, Rooney, have you been there for 5 years? I'm not quite sure, but you are loyal, Rooney. All right, should we talk about, last few minutes, should we talk about AJ Fury? Is there any point talking about it? After Fury's comments on that IFL TV video, wasn't very, do you know what I mean? Like, what's the chances now of that fight happening? Fucking hell. What are the chances? It's funny though, because you listen to Fury on that interview, and Fury's very much almost trying to play it down, like fighting gonna happen, pretty much trying to play it down. I'm gonna fight someone next, it could be Wilder. But then you listen to Eddie, Bob, Frank, they're very much like the fight's gonna happen. So I just think that maybe Fury was in a bad mood that day. We know that I think his nan had passed away a few days before, so maybe this wasn't in an interview and talking mood. I don't know. But it didn't leave me with much hope. Like, didn't leave me with much hope at all. And this is like, Sean Hodge says, do you think he is depressed? It could be. Once you go through and battle depression, it can come very quick. And I can be very open and honest with you guys. There was a time a couple of years ago when I was definitely going through my own like bout of depression. Like my mental state was all over the place. I like didn't get to a stage where I was fucking drinking and boozing, but I was very much at home, very stressed about life. I mean, I have those little things all the time that they don't constantly go away. I mean, they can come back at anything. Like little things will make me kind of feel like, oh shit, man, life is getting too difficult. So Fury went through something 1,000 times worse than me. And as much as he constantly says things like, I'm fine and the world is good and blah, 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 he clearly could easily go back to where he was before. Like his mental state isn't the strongest. So I wouldn't be surprised if Fury's still going through some stuff. You would not believe, this is from Gary Nicholas, that Tommy is his brother. Yeah, it is his brother, but isn't it different mums? I don't know. I think isn't like his brother, like half brother or whatever. Conrad Boxton says, honestly, I want to see AJ versus Usyk badly. Probably blasphemy to write this hit, but it is blasphemy. It is blasphemy. We want to see AJ Fury. Sorry, it's all I care about right now. Yusuf Patel says, Ade, have you ever considered bringing in Ahara Davis and Dean White for an interview, just like you did with Rob Tebbett and Umar from IFL TV? Because I think them two would definitely come on. Yeah, they would come on. That's no doubt. Yeah, actually, I could do that now, actually. I'm about to say once COVID is over, but you can interview from a distance. Yeah, all right, I'll do it. I'll reach out to Big Dean White. I don't know if he'll fit in my chair, though. Fucking hell. He's a lump, isn't he? I'm not quite sure if he'll fit. Oh, someone's also. Ade, royal family versus Harry and Meghan. Who you got? Well, you don't fuck about the royal family over here, but look, credit to Harry for sticking up for his missus, boy. I'll tell you that now. Credit to him. He had his missus' back, but yeah, you don't mess around with the royal family, do you? A lot of people can't see the fight. A lot of people saying the fight's not going to happen. This is a very good point, but Akil Gordon Betford says, no fight, no focus. Mind goes to the wilderness. Fighting is his anchor. Dude, you're like a writer. That's really good English. So true though, isn't it? Like, you see it with Billy Joe Saunders. When there's no fight, Billy Joe Saunders does his silliness. We all see it. Maybe Tyson Fury's like that as well. The mind starts to wander when there's nothing on the horizon. And right now, I'm trying to think that Tyson Fury looks like his mind, from that interview, it's like his mind's starting to wander. Guys, 118 likes. Can we smash that like button, please? Because supposedly, it means something for the channel. Oh, we've got 3 minutes left, people. An hour is nearly up already, which is unbelievable. Fibrillation. Is it fibrillation? It is fibrillation. What a random name. Ade, is your Patreon still going? Well, it's still there, but I haven't done any content because I don't know what to do. I have to be honest with you. I'm brutally honest. I have no idea what to put on my Patreon. Like, any suggestions would be good. Would you like me to have a channel on there where I do more interviews about boxing? I can bring in the likes of Rob Tebbett. Or would you like me to, like the Andy Cole interview I did the other day, would you like that to go onto the Patreon? I don't know what people want. Help me. Joe Hodgkinson says, what do you think of Marshall versus Shields? It's the only fight that can happen. It's the only fight that... What, is this Jimmy Manua? It can't be the Jimmy Manua in here. The front room makes the show. As in, can't be the former UFC fighter, Jimmy Manua. Nah. Someone with maybe the Jimmy Manua name. If that's Jimmy Manua, then I'm fucking excited. Do you guys know who Jimmy Manua is? UFC light heavyweight fighter. Former. Although, he might have itchy knuckles. Born in America, went to Nigeria, London boy. Go and look at, this is the funny thing, yeah? People will say things like Jimmy Manuwa lost a lot of his last few fights in the UFC. Please go and look at who Jimmy Manuwa fought in his last 9 fights in the UFC. He fought Blachowicz twice, who's the current champion. Go and look at it. Just go and look at it. Gustafsson. They're putting him in with killers. He's in with killers. Anyway. We got here. Oh, shit, we've gone, an hour's wrapped up. Quinn 40 says, what did he say? Back to Joe Rogan. Do you know how much he got to go over to Spotify? Apparently 100 million, yeah. Yeah. That's what got paid. Think about that. And just for doing what he loves. Like, he enjoys it. He loves doing it. Crazy. Crazy. Love, oh man, so much love for what Joe Rogan does. What's this from Lennox? Lennox makes says, Hagler dying reminded me of a story of when a boxer died years ago. A famous reporter said, count to 10 over him and he'll get up. Everyone asking for 5 more minutes. Akil Gordon Betford says, bring in a man like Spencer Fearon. My boxing knowledge is not good enough for Spencer. It's not good enough. What else we got here? What else we got? All right, a couple more minutes. What else we got? Look. My car from 87 says, how does Anthony Joshua do in MMA? Oh, it gets beat pretty easily. They're too good at wrestling. They'll just take him down and submit him. Ash 1. Oh, look at Stanley Redden says, Ade, get on OnlyFans. It will motivate you to work out again. Do you know, I know a few people, I have to admit, girls, that are on OnlyFans that are making 40 grand a month. Jeez. I mean, I don't know what to make of that. Ash 1 says, why doesn't any journalist ask Fury if he's not fighting in UK because of his drug ban? I don't know. Well, you say that, yeah. Look, I understand how it works. And I think maybe, like, when you say journalist, you mean proper boxing journalist, or do we mean like the guys doing the YouTube stuff? If you ask Fury that question and you're a YouTube guy, like a Coogan or a Rob Temp or anyone else, you're not interviewing Coogan again. You're not interviewing. So, yes, for your journalist integrity, it's good, right? Oh, I'm a real journalist. But for your career, it's the worst question you could ask him, because you're done. You are out. So it's not worth it. If you're a proper journalist, then maybe. But if you're a YouTuber, don't you dare ask him that question. No way, Jose. That would be silly. What we got here? All right, we're done. 62 minutes. Guys, it's been amazing as usual. This Sunday is always my highlight. It really is. But I got so much shit to do. I'm so busy. So busy. Peace and love, everyone. Peace and love.